Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P2, Variant 3, October-November 2021. Let's get started. Write 26 grams as a percentage of 208 grams. When we set up the percentage equation, the value after the of, in this case 208 grams, would be the denominator. So we have 26 grams divided by 208 grams times 100%, which is equal to 12.5%. The diagram shows two parallel lines intersecting a straight line. Find the value of x. These two are alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, and so x plus 132 degrees should be equal to 180 degrees. When we subtract 132 degrees from both sides of the equation, we have x equals 48 degrees. From this list, write down the number that is both a prime number and a factor of 195. 13 is a prime number and it is also a factor of 195. Put a ring around each of the symbols that make this statement correct. To be able to compare the two numbers, we can convert 0.5 to a percentage by multiplying 0.5 by 100%. This gives us 50%. Based on this, we can say that 50% is not equal to 5% and 50% is greater than 5%. Insert one pair of brackets to make this statement correct. When we put the brackets around 3 minus 1, we are able to make the given statement true. Nina changes 153 euros into dollars when the exchange rate is $1 equals 0.9 euros. Calculate the amount Nina receives. First, we set up the conversion ratio. When we cross-multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have. When we type this into the calculator, we get $170. Marek buys a computer for $420. He sells it at a loss of 15%. Calculate the selling price of this computer. Since he is selling the computer at a loss of 15%, we subtract 15% from 100%, giving us 85%. And so 85% of $420 is equal to $357. Simplify. 32g raised to the power 32 divided by 4g raised to the power 4. So we have 32 divided by 4, and since the g terms are also dividing, we subtract their powers. So we have g raised to the power 32 minus 4. 32 minus 4 is 28, and 32 divided by 4 is 8. And so our final answer is 8g raised to the power 28. Beatrice walks 1 kilometer at a speed of 4 kilometers per hour and then 2 kilometers at a speed of 4.5 kilometers per hour. Work out Beatrice's average speed for the whole journey. The average speed for the whole journey would be the distance she traveled for the whole journey divided by the time duration for the entire journey. The total distance she traveled is 1 plus 2 kilometers. The time duration for the first part of her journey is the distance she traveled for that part, which is 1 kilometer, divided by her speed, which is 4 kilometers per hour. The time duration for the second part of her journey is 2 kilometers divided by 4.5 kilometers per hour. When we type this into the calculator, we get 4.32 kilometers per hour. Write the recurring decimal 0.27 as a fraction. Let's call the recurring decimal x. When we multiply x by 10, this is what we have. And when we multiply x by 100, this is what we have. Note that x and 100x have the exact same pattern after the decimal point. So when we subtract x from 100x, this is what we have. 100x minus x is 99x, and 27.27 minus 0.27 is 27. When we divide both sides by 99, we get x equals 27 over 99. 9 goes into 27 3 times, and 9 goes into 99 11 times. And so our final answer is 3 over 11. These are the first 4 terms of a sequence. Find the next term in this sequence. We see that the terms have a common difference of -4. So to get the next term, we subtract 4 from -9. This gives us -13. Find the nth term. This is the nth term formula for sequences with a common difference. A1 is the first term of the sequence, and that is 3. D is the common difference, which is -4. When we simplify this, we get 7 minus 4n. P equals m times g squared plus h squared. Find the value of P when m equals 100, g equals 3, and h equals 4.5. When we plug in the given values of m, g, and h into the given equation, this is what we have. When we type this into the calculator, we get 2,925. Rearrange the formula to write g in terms of p, m, and h. When we divide both sides of the equation by m, this is what we have. When we make g squared the subject, we get p over m minus h squared. To make g the subject, we take square root of both sides. This gives us plus and minus square root of p over m minus h squared. Without using a calculator, work out 11 over 12 plus 3 over 4. You must show all your working and give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. The LCM of 12 and 4 is 12. For 11 over 12, since we multiply 12 by 1 to get the LCM, we also need to multiply 11 by 1, which gives us 11. For 3 over 4, since we multiply 4 by 3 to get the LCM, we also need to multiply 3 by 3, which gives us 9. 11 plus 9 is 20. 4 goes into 20 5 times, and 4 goes into 12 3 times. 5 over 3 is an improper fraction, so we convert it into a mixed fraction. 3 goes into 5 one time with a remainder of 2, which we divide by 3. Calculate 0.04 squared plus 0.03 times 0.28. Give your answer in standard form. When we type the given expression into the calculator, we get 0.01. To convert this into standard form, we move the decimal point to a position after the first non-zero digit, which is 1. Since we moved the decimal point 2 times to the right, we multiply 1 by 10 raised to the power -2. And so we have 1 times 10 raised to the power -2. Complete the statement. P union Q equals blank. We are to state the elements in the region P union Q. These elements are B, C, D, E, F, and G. Find N of Q. In other words, we are to state the number of elements in set Q. The elements in set Q are 4 in total. Find n of p complement intersection q. In other words, we are to state the number of elements that are in set q but not in set p. These elements are 3 in total. The cost of a train journey is increased by 6% to a new cost of $153.70. Calculate the original cost of the train journey. Since the new cost is a 6% increase on the old cost, we have 106% of the old cost equals $153.70. When we make OC the subject, this is what we have. When we type this into the calculator, we get $145. Joe and Mo share $26. Joe receives $5 more than Mo. Find the ratio Joe's money is to Mo's money. Give your answer in its simplest form. If Mo receives X dollars, then Joe receives X plus $5. This means X plus 5 equals 26. When we simplify this and make X the subject, we get X equals 10.5. This means Mo receives $10.5 and Joe receives 10.5 plus $5, which is equal to $15.5. When we type 15.5 divided by 10.5 into the calculator, we get 31 over 21, which is the same as 31:21. Each interior angle of a regular polygon is 178.5 degrees. Calculate the number of sides of this polygon. Here is the formula for the interior angle of a regular polygon. We've been given the interior angle as 178.5 degrees and we need to find n, which is the number of sides of the polygon. When we multiply both sides by n, this is what we have. When we group like terms and divide both sides by 1.5, we get n equals 240. Find the equation of the straight line that passes through the points 2, -2 and 310. Give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. All we need to do is find the values of m and c and plug in these values into y equals mx plus c. We can get the value of m by applying the gradient formula. This gives us -2 minus 10 divided by 2 minus 3, which is equal to 12. To get the value of c, we plug in the value of m and one set of coordinates. In this case, we are using 310 into y equals mx plus c. This gives us c equals -26. And so y equals 12x minus 26. The diagram shows a sector of a circle center O, radius 12.6 centimeters. Calculate the perimeter of the shaded segment. The perimeter of the shaded region is equal to the length of y plus the arc length. These two sides are radii of the circle, and that makes the triangle an isosceles triangle. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal, and so when we subtract 80 degrees from 180 degrees and divide by 2, we get 50 degrees. We can get the length of y by applying the sine rule to the triangle and making y the subject. This gives us 12.6 over sine 50 degrees times sine 80 degrees. By applying the arc length formula, we get the arc length to be 80 degrees divided by 360 degrees times 2 pi times 12.6. When we type this into the calculator, we get 35.8 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. A lake has an area of 3 kilometers squared. On a map, the area of the lake is 18.75 centimeters squared. Find the scale of the map in the form 1:n. First, we convert 3 kilometers squared to centimeters squared, which is 3 times 10 raised to the power 10 centimeters squared. So now we have the area ratio to be 18.75 is to 3 times 10 raised to the power 10. To get the scale ratio, we take the square root of both sides. Since the final answer needs to be in the form 1:n, we divide through the ratio by square root of 18.75. This gives us 1:40,000. Simplify fully. 243y raised to the power 10, all raised to the power 3 over 5. By applying the laws of indices, we have 243 raised to the power 3 over 5 times y raised to the power 10, all raised to the power 3 over 5. 243 raised to the power 3 over 5 is 27. The powers of y multiply, so y raised to the power 10 times 3 over 5 gives us y raised to the power 6. And so our final answer is 27y raised to the power 6. Solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working. First, let's label the given equations. When we substitute equation 1 into equation 2, this is what we have. When we move all the terms to one side of the equation and group like terms, we have x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. We can solve for x by factorization. We can rewrite negative 4x as 2x minus 6x. For the first two terms, when we factor out x, we are left with x plus 2. And for the final two terms, when we factor out negative 6, we are left with x plus 2. This can be rewritten as x plus 2 times x minus 6 equals 0. When we equate x plus 2 to 0, we get x equals negative 2. And when we equate x minus 6 to 0, we get x equals 6. To get the corresponding y values, we plug in the x values into any of the equations. Let's pick equation 2. When x equals negative 2, y equals negative 3. And when x equals 6, y equals 5. The diagram shows a triangular prism. Angle BPC is 90 degrees. Calculate AC. AC is the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle APC. So by applying the Pythagoras theorem, we have AC squared equals 4 centimeters squared plus AP squared. We need to find the value of AP. AP is the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle ABP. So by applying the Pythagoras theorem, we have AP squared equals 12 centimeters squared plus 5 centimeters squared. When we make AP the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 13 centimeters. When we plug in the value of AP into the original equation for AC and make AC the subject, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 13.6 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. Calculate the angle between AC and the base ABPQ. On the diagram, we have labeled this angle as alpha. We can apply SOHCAHTOA to find the value of alpha. This gives us tan alpha equals 4 centimeters divided by 13 centimeters. When we make alpha the subject, we get tan inverse of 4 over 13. When we type this into the calculator, we get 17.1 degrees rounded to 1 decimal place. Tan x equals square root of 3 and x is greater than and equal to 0 degrees and less than and equal to 360 degrees. Find all the possible values of x. First, let's find the value of alpha, which is the reference angle that will allow us find all the possible values of x in the given range. To get the value of alpha, we take the tan inverse of the positive value of root 3, which is the same as root 3. And so tan inverse of root 3 is 60 degrees. Now that we have the value of alpha, we can draw the quadrants. We only measure the value of alpha from the horizontal axis in the quadrants where tan is positive. When we go round the quadrants the first time, we get the first value of x to be 60 degrees. And when we go round the quadrants the second time, we get the second value of x to be 180 degrees plus 60 degrees, which is equal to 240 degrees. Simplify. 3x squared minus 18x over ax minus 6a plus 2cx minus 12c. For the numerator, the terms have a common factor of 3x. When we factor that out, we are left with x minus 6. In the denominator, the first two terms have a common factor of a. When we factor that out, we are left with x minus 6. The final two terms have a common factor of 2c. When we factor that out, we are left with x minus 6. This can be rewritten as x minus 6 times a plus 2c. X minus 6 cancels out, and so our final answer is 3x over a plus 2c. ORT is a triangle. X is a point on TR so that TX is to XR equals 3 is to 2. O is the origin. OR is R and OT is T. Find the position vector of X. Give your answer in terms of R and T in its simplest form. The position vector of X is the same as vector OX. OX can be expressed as OR plus RX. From the given ratio, RX is 2/5 of RT. RT is RO plus OT. OR is R, RO is negative R, and OT is T. When we expand the brackets and group like terms, we have 3 over 5R plus 2 over 5T. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.